Welcome to An Invitation. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Stone, and today I invite you to join me to make King Ranch chicken. It's an old classic from Texas, and you're gonna love it. I'm gonna show you how to make it from start to finish. We're gonna start with sauteing some onions. So I have a little bit of butter here that I'm gonna put into the skillet. And let's get it there. There we go. Just a little bit of butter. And then I'm gonna do about a half cup of onions. We're gonna saute these, and what we want is for these to get just slightly cooked. You notice they're very white right now, and as you cook onions, they start to become translucent, and that's what we're looking for. So we're just going to cook them a little bit so they're not raw. This will just take a moment. And then I've got my other ingredients ready. So what we're doing is we're making the base to King Ranch chicken. King Ranch chicken was invented because it was leftover things made into a casserole. So traditionally it was leftover chicken from a chicken dish. Then we have leftover tortillas. We've made it simpler. We use tortilla chips already done with cheese, and then this yummy sauce all made into a casserole dish. So the onions are now cooking and they're almost done. You know, it doesn't take long. We just want them to get a little bit soft and translucent. If you have some big pieces like I did there, you just kind of press them down so they will get loosened up. And then to make the rest of the sauce, I'm gonna let this cook just another minute. We're gonna start with a cup of chicken broth. You can use vegetable broth, you can use beef broth, whatever you have in house. If you really don't have anything, you can use water, but you're gonna lose some flavor by not having the chicken broth. Just gives it a wonderful flavor. That's why I like to use it most of all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna put in 1 cup of chicken broth right into the onions. And we're gonna stir that in and let that get hot. All right, and then to that, I'm going to add a cup of tomatillo sauce. This is our house-made tomatillo sauce. If you don't want to make it, you can find this on another recipe for the grilled chicken enchiladas with tomatillo sauce, but you can also use a jarred tomatillo sauce. That is just fine if you want to do that. That is not a problem. So now we're going to add that, and we're going to just mix that in, give that a little stir. And I'm going to let this bubble and get hot for just a minute. Let it get hot. We're going to then add, this is 1 can of Rotel tomatoes. Very important to use Rotel. If you can't find Rotel, it's a diced tomato with peppers in it, which is usually pretty easy to find, but this gives it a really nice flavor. It's going to give it a little bit of spice. So let's put these in here. Now, some people don't like things too spicy, and that may be you. So if you don't like spicy at all, this just gives it a little bit of a kick. But if you really don't like any spice, you can just use diced tomatoes. 1 like 14-ounce can of diced tomato instead of the Rotel. The Rotel has a little bit of green pepper and a little bit of jalapeno in it. Just gives it a nice little kick. Traditionally, King Ranch casserole has just a touch of a kick to it. Now, if you like it really spicy, you can add more jalapenos to it. I'm going to let that cook for just a minute, and we're going to let that boil a little bit before I add the sour cream to it. So we got a little boil going on here. I just want it to be nice and hot so it'll all those flavors will meld together. And now we're going to come in with a cup of sour cream. I'm just going to put it right in there. This is a little more than a cup, so just want about a cup. And we're going to mix this all together. Just do it a little bit slowly until it all gets incorporated. And then we're going to cook it for a couple of minutes so it cooks down just slightly. And I also like to add a little bit of water to it, just so we make sure it's got a nice sauciness to it, and a pinch of pepper just to finish it up. So while this is getting hot and ready, I've got a Pyrex dish here. And I've just put some oil on the bottom of it. I took a paper towel and just put some oil in it so nothing sticks to it. And we're gonna start with our tortilla chips on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just take these and kind of crunch these up. And just so you cover the bottom of the dish. And so basically we're going to layer this dish. It's going to be sauce, tortillas, chicken, and cheese. And we're just going to layer it until it gets to the top. So we've got a pretty good layer here. And now that our sauce looks like it's nice and warm, I'm going to just let it cook another minute. You don't want it to be too runny. Let it get to a nice boil, and then we'll start to assemble. So I've let this cook down a little bit. You can see it's cooked down by about a quarter or maybe a third. I just wanted it to get a little thicker. You can see it's got a beautiful consistency to it now. All the sour cream is incorporated. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of green chilies. And these are not spicy green chilies, but they add a beautiful flavor and texture to this. And so we are ready to go to assemble. You can see all of that is nicely mixed up. So for the assembly, I have my Pyrex that we greased. I've put the tortillas down, and now we're going to start. I'm going to put sauce just right on top of this. Just a nice layer of sauce. And doesn't have to be a lot, but we'll just start to have some sauce on the bottom. And then we're going to come with chicken. So I'm going to just do, and you want to spread it out so everything is nice and even. A nice and even layer of chicken, like this. And then we're going to come with some, this is shredded cheddar cheese. And I've got about 2 cups of shredded cheddar. You always want to save some for the top. So now I'm going to start the next layer. So we're going to go back with a layer of tortillas. This is fun to do the crunching. It just takes all your frustrations out. I love it. We're going to come back. I'm going to put some of this in a bowl to make it a little bit easier for me to do this. Make sure to get all those goodies, and then we'll just pour it right across here like that. You just have to be careful. The sauce is hot. It doesn't have to be hot, so if you want to make this ahead of time, you can make it ahead of time. But it's nice that it's just hot, and then it's going to go right into the oven, and it'll come out nice and hot. All right, so we've got that. And then we're going to add some more chicken. I'm going to add the rest of my chicken. Like this. Spread it out a little bit so everybody gets a couple of bites of chicken. And then there's just some broth that the chicken made. I'm just going to go ahead and pour that right in there. And then we have a little more cheese. I'm going to do a layer of cheese here. I'm going to save a little bit for the top because I'm going to put some more tortilla chips right on the top. And finish this out like this. I'm going to take the rest of this sauce and pour it right on top. Get all of those good pieces of onion and tomato out of there. Spread that out a little bit. And then we're going to finish it with a nice layer of cheese on top. All right, this just came out of the oven. It's nice and hot. Look, you can see the smoke coming right off of it. I'm going to put this on my plate. Isn't that pretty? Chips are crispy. We've got some cheese on the top. So I have a question for you. Does anybody know where the name King Ranch Chicken came from? If you know, I'd like to know. So give me a shout. Tell me on Instagram or on YouTube what you think. So let's give this a taste. That is so good. You can taste the tortillas, you can taste the sauce, taste the chicken. It's a beautiful all-in-one dish, and the great thing about this, it's gluten-free because it's made with corn tortillas. So for those of you that are gluten-free, you can eat this. It's so easy to make. You can make it ahead of time and freeze it, then pull it out when you have guests or when you have dinner, and you can make it in smaller quantities. If you want to make it in little small portions and have it for dinner during the week, you can do that. Remember, whatever you do, enjoy the process, enjoy cooking, enjoy entertaining, and most of all, enjoy the experience. Until next time, cheers, friends.